Have you ever thought, why do I suck at fantasy football? Welcome. This is the Commissioner Fantasy Football Podcast.
And welcome to Week 10 Part 2 with Mavi Gali and the Commissioner. Hello!
Hello.
Hello!
La, la, la.
La.
So it's been a while. Yeah, you guys missed me.
What are you talking?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
When your Miss Me voice comes out, is that
it's
the
like,
Miss Me voice?
I haven't seen you guys in forever. Aw.
Well, welcome back.
Like,
Welcome. Play that song for you. Welcome.
Well, this is me dancing to the song.
Yeah, don't try to throw it in there. Go.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do this Part 2.
Ooh, Chargers at the Dolphins. That should be a good game, I think.
Look, the one thing I want to say about the Dolphins is their defense is actually not bad, which is very interesting.
Well, they've scored 2-3 weeks in a row already, right? Or at least back-to-back last few weeks.
Yeah, well, the whole defense scoring is one thing, but the fact that they have good corners.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dolphins are not the Dolphins of the old, everybody. Just accept that. So when you look at somebody playing the Dolphins, like I still look at him like I should start everybody. I'm like, no, the Dolphins are actually good. But look, in this game for the Chargers, you're still starting Herbert. Like he gets volume. He's gonna throw the ball. This can be a competitive game. And Keenan Allen. And maybe Hunter Henry if you need a tight end, but I think there's enough good tight ends out there, especially this week.
Mm-hmm.
So Hunter Henry, you could probably stay away from him. Most people.
Freaking Kelly, man.
Oh, that was
Kelly.
Kalen Ballage just came out from nowhere. Hey, this might be a revenge game because remember
I don't
Ballage
think
with the-
so. Kelly had more possessions played. He just didn't play well, and I think.
Hey, I think Kelly's going to do well this game.
Really, I think if you're starting Kelly, I'm not. But if you're starting him, he better be a last resort, and you got no one else.
Exactly. So if you like have a bye week apocalypse.
Hey, I'll trade you, Kelly. Give me someone,
Sure.
anything.
Yeah, I'll take somebody at this
Who?
point. I don't know.
I'll
We
take
could talk.
anyone. Okay.
In the dynasty or in the regular?
I don't have him in Dynasty. I have him in regular.
Okay. Yeah,
Dynasty,
talk.
I'd keep him.
What about Damian Harris? I have Damian Harris.
We'll
The
talk.
running back.
We'll
running
talk.
back
We'll
for the
talk. We'll
Patriots.
talk.
Talk right now.
I don't want to talk
This is
now.
where trades get done.
Okay. All right. Here's,
Damian Harris. He just got a concussion from last game. He's been doing well. There you go. There's a proposition. I'll take Joshua Kelly for Harris.
Not feeling it.
All right, Chargers defense.
Maybe I'm not as dead on Kelly as I want
Yeah. See.
to be. I don't know. It's just-
You see?
every week I go like maybe, like they're running out of running backs. He's the only one left. Maybe, and then no. right.
Chargers defense on this one for me is if you could start them because there's not a lot of defenses to stream. Look, Tua still might make mistakes, and Chargers defense is not bad, but they're missing a few pieces on their defensive end, so it sucks. But for the Dolphins, I don't know. Tua, I can't just plug him in yet.
I have him in Dynasty. I know some people picked him up in our regular league, but he's still on my free agent list. I mean, he had
it's kind of
one
hard,
good
right?
game, one bad game.
It's kind of hard just to plug him in and say, okay, I'm going to go with this guy. Maybe in a 2-quarterback league, like our dynasty league, but even for you probably have better options.
I'm going Foles this week.
And Wentz, right?
Wentz and Foles, yeah.
Yeah. See, that to me makes a little more sense because the Vikings secondary is just trash. Okay, sorry. Parker, you play for the Dolphins, and Gesicki probably you could play. You could start as a tight end. There's going to be some volume there. And then Breida, if Breida plays, Matt Breida, I think you could plug him in and play him. We've seen Breida before, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not a bad guy. He could catch the pass.
He does have the Joshua Kelly effect though, where like he's supposed to start and then gets no points, and you're like, oh,
well, he hasn't started.
I know, but then in the game where he doesn't start, he goes off somehow, and you're like,
it's
a
risk.
With this guy.
Yeah, but this game is a risk because we haven't seen him without Myles Gaskin yet. So it might be a risk.
Yeah, but we know Breida from years ago as well when he was a starter for a little bit.
Yeah, and they were using him in the beginning of the year. So I think if he plays and if he's healthy to go, he might be a decent plug-in.
I'd still go Howard over Breida.
No, Howard. they gotta get in the red zone and depend on the touchdown. One thing I want to say about fantasy. Look, I hate when you have to plug in a player and depend on the touchdown. And that goes back.
That's every player for the Dolphins almost. Except maybe not Parker.
Not exactly. Not yet, because Parker had like 6 catches. So
all right, moving on. Bills, Cardinals, freaking Murray. God.
He is Lamar Jackson of this
against
year.
Murray these last couple of weeks.
I have.
Sorry.
I lost. Yeah, it's just so for me. Look, Murray is the Lamar Jackson of this year. There's statistics that support that, man. He's the Lamar Jackson. Like
Yeah, he's Lamar if Lamar would throw decently.
Yeah, or even run more than Lamar's been running.
What is going? We'll get to him later.
Yeah. All right. So Murray, you start Hopkins, you start Christian Kirk, and for me, still Edmonds is a start, even if Drake plays. So you start that.
Okay.
And then for the Bills, easy. Allen, Diggs.
Well, Allen is their top running back right now. I believe he has the most rushing yards out of the entire team. So
yeah, and then the Cardinals defense is not great. So like the Bills destroyed Seattle.
I like how Singletary's not even on the list anymore.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do at this point?
I don't know. And it's not like Moss is doing that much better.
No, but I'd rather start Moss at this point and take a risk with Moss.
We'll get those 2 extra points, maybe.
Exactly. So that's it for that game. All right.
Seahawks, Rams.
Ooh,
go.
I love this. I want to see this game so badly.
Okay, can we talk about Metcalf and
what?
This guy is not human, right?
He's not.
He can't be human. I mean, you look at him, he's like, that's a robot playing. That's not a person.
See, you don't remember because we didn't play fantasy back when Julio Jones was a rookie, and I remember a few, and I've been looking at clips, but he is like the descendant or like the kid of Julio Jones.
Or
Julio
like
Jones
an upgraded version of Julio Jones.
He's as big as him. Julio, maybe he's not as buff because these days, I guess, guys are coming up more buffer.
Yeah, and they're not taking anything, right?
Yeah, but the speed. The only thing that Julio's better at is route running. DK Metcalf has to get better as route running. He just gets away with his body. But people are going to figure that out. Like, so
I don't know how you can figure that out.
Oh, you could.
There was a replay I watched. He didn't complete the pass. The ball was going to him. The defender tackled him, and as he tried to tackle him, he bounced off Metcalf. Just boom. And Metcalf's like standing there, going like, "Did you touch me?"
Yeah, but I've been.
When have you ever seen that?
Well, Derrick Henry,
a giant running back going forward, right? At full speed, Metcalf's coming this way. This guy's tackling him this way. So it's not like this. It's like this. Just bounces off, and then Metcalf just stops, turns, and looks at him. Goes like, "You okay, bud?"
Can you imagine this? The Packers could have had this guy, right?
You must be so pissed.
Packers. I don't want to talk about it because the Packers, their GM and the way they draft, man, they haven't drafted a decent. Except like Aaron Jones was a good draft, but he came in later. Find talent that way. But
so what we're saying is don't start Metcalf.
Yeah, don't start Metcalf. He's horrible. Yeah, and same thing with Lockett. Well, Lockett's been having a few big games. Look, you start Lockett. If you're in the league and people don't like Lockett, go get him. Go trade for him. So, and then if Carson plays, you start Carson, and looks like Hyde is going to be out. If Carson plays, you start Carson. If Carson,
so is he officially out? Because earlier I checked, he was still questionable.
Not officially out, but Hyde's not going to play. I'm pretty sure Carson has a chance, but if both of them are out, DG Dallas again, he's 2 touchdowns back to back. You could probably plug him in and start him because they're going to use a running back. For the Rams, now this is interesting. Seahawks defense is non-existent. They literally don't have anybody on the defense. It just seems that way. The Bills ran all over them. I mean. Everybody did everything against the Seahawks defense. It was just
they did everything, huh? Everybody did everything.
Goff is actually, if you're looking for a quarterback to stream, Goff is the guy to plug in. Cup, Woods start, and Henderson start. Everybody else for me is.
Yeah,
I can't trust anybody on that team.
I wouldn't start Goff.
I would. He's going to be probably top 10 quarterback this week. Yeah. This
Well,
is
because Seahawks, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. You're playing at home, alpha bye week. You're gonna throw the ball. It's gonna be a competitive game. It's not like the Seahawks are gonna just fall apart. And Rams defense is not that great. So
Got it.
all right.
All right. 49ers, Saints.
All right. 49ers, look, McKinnon, you could start him because I feel like again, they're gonna try to play catch up.
Mhm.
McKinnon's the guy that they're gonna come in and throw the ball, and Ayuk. Everybody else is out. Like Deebo Samuel, he's downfall already. He's not gonna play.
Is he doubtful? I
Yeah,
put him
he's
in my
doubtful.
starting lineup.
You
When did
gotta
this
probably
happen?
take him out. I checked today. So
What about Reed? He was injured last week.
I'm
when he
not.
played.
I'm not trusting Reese. So
No?
many people started him. No, don't trust him. Even Dwelly, there's more. There's more tight ends out there for you to start. Don't trust the 49ers, especially against the Saints. I'm not gonna go there.
if you have a choice.
Yeah, the Saints just made Brady look like Peyton Manning when he was retiring. Like it was bad. So yeah, I'm not even with McKinnon and Ayuk. I'm like, well, there's gonna be like catching up time, right? Or like that garbage time, but we'll see.
Okay.
That's what we thought for Brady.
So Breeze, Kamara, obviously.
Yeah, this one's easy. Brees Kamara, Michael Thomas, Saints defense. Everybody else, no, not dealing with anybody else.
I don't think that their defense is going to do as well as last week, but we'll see.
Think so. You'll see.
All right. Bengals, Steelers. Let's go, Burrow.
For the Bengals, this is easy now. Look, I know people still kind of like through the Bengals, like the Dolphins, right? They have that little, through the Bengals. No, Burrow is going to throw. He's going to run. He's going to throw. You start Boyd. You start T. Higgins. AJ Green for me is still, I want to see how utilized he still is after a bye week. Mixon, if he plays, I'm plugging him in. I don't care about his. People saying, well, he's still injured. If he plays, you start Mixon if he plays. If he's not playing, you start Bernard.
I'm definitely starting Mixon.
If he plays.
He's probably playing.
Well, he has to practice tomorrow on Friday, so that's the big thing. So if he practices Friday, he looks good, and then he's in. But if he's not, then Bernard is the guy to start.
Got it.
And this is against the Steelers defense. So.
Yeah, which I think
they're not that
run
great.
would help.
They're not. They're supposed to be great, but they're not that great. They'll have some turnovers, right? They'll make Burrow fumble the ball.
They're pretty good against the run, but Burrow can throw, and he's got a few guys to throw to. So I think if they mix it up well, play action well, they'll do well.
Yeah. Steelers, I'm not going to start Ben. He had a bad injury, and I don't know who he's going to throw to. Look, for me in this game, the Bengals suck against the tight end, so Eric Ebron is a really good start. That's what I was talking about. There's a lot of good tight ends to start. Now, all the other pass catchers, Juju, Claypool, Deontay Johnson, James Washington, I don't know who to trust. I have some look, you have Juju. You probably might have to start Juju, but everybody else, man, there's too many. You don't know who's going to come up and, do well.
You think this is the first week they might lose? The only undefeated team left?
Hey, I wouldn't bet on it. I don't know how much money.
I'm not a betting man.
I wouldn't be. No, I'm a betting man. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals take this one and win it. All right, and then you could start Connor. Look, Connor had a bad week. He lost me.
Connor.
Look, you're gonna start Connor. Yeah.
Sorry. All right, Ravens, Patriots.
All right, and I unplugged my mic.
Sorry.
No,
I can still hear you.
Okay.
Sorry, I laughed because I looked at the sheet under Patriots.
All right, so Ravens at the Patriots. Yeah. Who do you start for the Patriots?
So he sends me a spreadsheet of everything we're talking about and all the players we're going to talk about. And just under Patriots says not trusting anyone.
I'm not. Dude, I can't.
Okay.
We could talk about some of the Patriots like next week. Like Myers, the wide receiver that was targeted how many times?
Ever since Edelman got injured and was out, there's just nothing.
No, there's Myers is the guy that's got a lot of passes. Damian Harris. Look, I'm not going to start him against the Ravens.
Well,
next week
that's
against
one of the reasons I don't want to trade him, right?
Well, yeah, you can't use him this week. We could trade next week.
Maybe.
For the Ravens, look, Patriots defense is no longer the Patriots defense. And again, they began the season with a lot of guys already out or not playing this year. Lamar, you start. Ingram plays, you start Ingram. If Ingram doesn't play, look, he could start Edwards and J.K. Dobbins in this one. I would start Hollywood Brown in this game and Andrews and Ravens defense. So I'm not shying from those guys like a lot of people are, but
I don't know.
Those are starts for me, especially.
I got rid of Brown, so I don't have to think about it anymore.
There you go.
Stuff.
Our last game Monday night.
Vikings, Bears. Oh Cook.
He's cooking.
Cook.
He's setting records the last 2 weeks. It's insane. It's
Yeah.
just mind blowing.
Oh, how upset is Jeff? So for those of you who don't know, I got Cook from Jeff about 3-4 weeks ago. Was that?
He's been talking. He's been like, why did I trade Cook? Why did I trade Cook? I'm a dummy.
Yes, you are, Jeff, if you're listening.
So make sure you start Cook. And I think even look, this is a more difficult defense against the run, but you start Cook. Thielen or Jefferson, look, Bears are good. So I'm not full on like 100% and like let's start them. But like if you have to start them, you're gonna have to start them unless you have better options. Irv Smith, the tight end, monitor his injury. He got I think 2 touchdowns last week. So monitor his injury. Vikings defense is not a bad start this week. Bears they look like the Bears. People were like, look at the Bears, they're 5-1, 6 whatever. No. The Bears are the Bears. They're going to be the Bears. Like that, they need a really good quarterback.
Yeah, but if
Foles is not the answer.
if you have Robinson and Graham, especially in deeper leagues,
Allen Robinson, you start. David Montgomery had a concussion. He's in concussion protocol, so monitor that. If he plays, you start David Montgomery. Even the Bears defense, for me, you could start them.
Really?
Yeah, because for me, I think Cook is not going to do 200 yards or 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't think I think he's going to have a decent game.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm hoping he goes off again.
And Kirk Cousins, this is in Chicago. Kirk Cousins he's Kirk Cousins. He's going to make mistakes. And Bears defense are going to step up on Monday night.
So you don't start Foles?
I wouldn't.
Tua over Foles?
No, sorry. Starting Foles, you can start Foles again in two quarterback leagues. You can start Foles, and like if you're on the 1 quarterback league, you could probably find like a Goff out there and start.
Well, I'm talking about our dynasty with 2 quarterbacks.
So 2 quarterback leagues for most super flex.
Or do you start Jones?
Daniel Jones against the Eagles? No. I'm not starting.
I thought either. Yeah.
No.
That was
Foles again. Viking defense.
Okay. So I am officially not in last place. I am in 9th place, which doesn't seem good. I am 2-7 in the league, but our league has something called the Johnny rule, which for those of you who listen, I'll just recap it. So even if you're not making the playoffs, if you have more points for than whoever's in 6th place, you take their place.
6th place belongs,
So I have hope. It looks like CJ is about 60 points ahead of me. So he's the only one that I could probably reach in time. And it doesn't look like he's going to have a good week. And if Johnny wins this week and CJ loses, CJ becomes the 6th seed.
This is good. You're pointing this out because right now, this week, right, we have like 4 weeks left. Yeah. This week, you start thinking about that because in other leagues, you're out. Like there's no way you're going to win 4 in a row and make the playoffs. But this rule helps because look, you got some bad matchups, right? You lose these bad matchups or you should have won.
A few?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying
more
like
than a few, but yeah.
So, and I love that rule. I know I've heard other leagues do it, like professional leagues do that. And that's where I got it from because it makes sense because fantasy football isn't fair. Some teams, like crappy teams, I got lucky in a few leagues. I'm lucky this year. I have a good record and then my points for is like really low. And I'm like, wow, you get lucky sometimes. But we try to take the look out and try to at least have that, if you have a good team, hey, at least make the playoffs, have a chance. Since we're talking about that, I just want to point out in our dynasty league, I am out of the playoffs officially based on my record, but I literally
get the points
for and the most points against. Like in dynasty, everybody has just been raping me, and I still have the most points out of the entire league. So
I made the playoffs that way in dynasty.
Yeah, I'm making the playoffs for sure in dynasty. I don't care about my record at all. I don't because
I'm not. Also, dynasty world, everyone's still close. There's 2 games separating last place from first.
Yeah, no. The records, it's been pretty competitive. So
yeah.
But for me, I'm comfortable because my team I know scores points, and so
I'm honestly surprised I'm not doing as bad. I mean, I am doing bad, but not as bad because I was definitely rebuilding.
I'm gonna make if I make the last place for the spot, somebody's gonna be pissed off.
Yeah, and at one point, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? I had 15 players injured.
Yeah, we extended the
players injured.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And
All
this
right,
isn't a
so-
league where you can't really pick anyone up because there's no one there. So
Well,
it was tough. It's a tough year.
all right.
Okay.
Fantasy could be cruel, so hopefully we just have less injuries and good luck in week 10, guys. Take care.
Dude, you better not be sleeping after that podcast. That was an amazing message. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Commissioner. Also subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Any comments, questions, concerns, send them to the Instagram page, The Commissioner, your fantasy football guide.